Labor inspection. The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices with the issuance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions.
The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary.
With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. Technical and advisory visit. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAB. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet.
Establishment owners carry a big responsibility to comply with labor laws, including submitting reports and providing documents like payroll records during inspections. But the manual filing process is a major challenge. They need to spend time, money, and effort to fill out forms and deliver them to the DOLE office, often dealing with traffic and delays. Sometimes, there's a long wait just to confirm if the report is accurate and complete. And it's not just employers facing difficulties. DOLE employees also struggle with limited manpower and the time-consuming task of reviewing and processing these reports. The time has come for change. What's required now is a more innovative, streamlined, and efficient process for handling compliance reports. One that will simplify life not just for businesses but also for DOLE employees. Welcome to the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, your all-in-one platform for seamless compliance submissions, designed to make compliance easier and more convenient for establishment owners. Telecommuting reports? Flexible work arrangement submissions? Reporting the 13th month pay? No problem. Even work accident or illness reports and the annual establishment report on wages, everything you need is now in one convenient portal. Plus, the DOLE Online Compliance Portal now includes the latest requirement for reporting movie and television shoots under Department Order 246, Series of 2024. All your compliance needs in one place, quick, secure, and hassle-free. With the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, registering your establishment is a breeze. Our automatic registration system ensures you are instantly compliant with OSH Standard Rule 1020. Once submitted, your certificate of registration is immediately available for download, saving you time and effort. Your establishment has been flagged for non-compliance during labor inspection. Don't worry. Required documents can be submitted quickly and conveniently. And if you're missing certain policies, like a mental health program or OSH program, we've got you covered with downloadable templates. Submit these documents directly through the portal, where DOLE inspectors will review, provide feedback, and keep you on track for compliance. With admin access on the DOLE online compliance portal, the labor inspectors can easily review the submitted reports and documents from the establishments. If further verification is needed, they can schedule an online meeting through Google Meet, all within the portal. This streamlines compliance checks, saving time and making the process more efficient for everyone. It's a smarter, more efficient way to stay compliant and keep your business running smoothly. Welcome to a new era of compliance, simplified, fast, and effective with the DOLE online compliance portal.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our webinar Wednesdays of the Department of Labor and Employment, hosted by the Bureau of Working Conditions. I am Jimson Robles, and I will be your host and moderator for today's webinar. Last week po, we tackled Labor Advisory number 15 series of 2025. The rights and the responsibilities of employers and workers during disruptive events were discussed. Key topics included workplace safety, imminent danger situations, work suspension, and the no work, no pay principle, and the role of safety officers in maintaining a safe work environment. The discussion also covered the actions worker may take when they have concern about their safety and labor rights. Ngayon naman, para sa Season 4, Episode 17, pag-uusapan naman po natin ang Department Order number 256, Series of 2026 o ang Revised Implementing Rules and Regulations of Republic Act number 10395 o ang Tripartism Law. Sa panahon ngayon, malagang mas maintindihan natin ang kahalagaan ng mas malakas na partnership at social dialogue sa pagitan ng government, employers at workers upang makabuo ng mas responsive na labor policies at maprotektahan ang workers' right at mapanatili ang industrial peace ng mga lugar ng trabaho. Pero bago po ang lahat, let us begin with a short prayer.
Let's put ourselves in the holy presence of God. Father in heaven, always merciful and giver of life, we humbly ask that you bless each one of us, from the speakers, program committees, and participants. Lord, today, as we start our webinar, may we always be grateful to learn new things. May we retain the invaluable knowledge and learning experiences that we derive from this webinar. Shed the light of your wisdom and bless each one, especially our speakers, as they will share their knowledge to our participants. We pray that you bless all the committees in charge, that they fulfill their tasks responsibly, that the objectives they may set may all be achieved. May we ask for your blessing and divine providence that the webinar set for his undertaking be successful and effective. Thank you for the infinite blessings and countless opportunities. Through your mercy and grace, may peace and utmost understanding shine and dwell unto us. Your generous blessings would mean the success of this webinar. We know that without it, we can do nothing. May we be the living witnesses of your genuine love through the implementation of the knowledge applied through this webinar. This we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Good afternoon to our Facebook viewers. Thank you for joining us today. Paki-heart, react, or like naman po ang ating live stream at huwag kalimutang i-follow ang ating official Facebook page at Dole BWC 1949 para manatiling updated sa mga announcement, programs at learning sessions ng Bureau of Working Conditions. Please share this live stream po with your friends, family, and colleagues at gamitin po natin ang hashtag Webinar Wednesdays. For questions or clarifications po, please use the comment section below this screen and our source speaker will address them during the question and answer portion. This is Season 4, Episode 17 of our Webinar Wednesdays, focusing on the Department Order Number 256 Series of 2026 and the Tripartism and Labor Relations. At para mas maintindihan natin ang usaping ito, kasama natin ngayong hapon ang isang mahusay at kilalang expert at sa larangang ito. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today. He is a Labor and Employment Officer 3 at the Policy and Program Development Division of the Bureau of Labor Relations. He is one of the project managers for the department's tripartism and social dialogue initiatives and oversees the implementation and monitoring of freedom of association activities and regional tripartite monitoring bodies reports nationwide. His work supports the development of labor relations, policies, and the promotion of workers' rights and the strengthening of tripartite cooperation. Prior to joining BLR, he served at the Dole International Labor Affairs Task Force as Desk Officer for Trade Matters, where he provided technical support to interagency committees on trade and labor-related concerns and also assisted senior officials in various international meetings and engagement. Without further ado, let us all welcome Mr. Bradley Genesis B. Bankirig. Good afternoon po, Sir Brian. The virtual floor is yours. Good
Ayan
afternoon
po.
po.
Thank you so much po, Sir Jim, and good afternoon po sa ating lahat. So before we start po, may I just share po muna yung aking presentation po. Ayan po, Okay naman po yung slides ko, sir.
Yes, sir. Po. Nakikita po, sir.
Ayan po, sir. So, once again po, magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. And unang-una po, thank you po sa Bureau of Working Conditions sa pag-invite po sa amin sa webinar na ito. And to our all FB viewers po, thank you very much for taking the time to join us in this webinar entitled po, Fostering Dialogue, Department Order Number 256, Series of 2026 and Tripartism in Labor Relations po. For this session po, I will be discussing the concepts and principles po of tripartism and social dialogue, focusing po on its important in labor governance po and how these are institutionalized po. And to discuss the key provisions po at saka yung silent features po ng RIR po natin para magkaroon po tayo ng understanding kung paano to ipatupad. At saka I hope this will be an insightful session for everyone. So before we discuss the department order itself po, it is important that we first understand kung ano po yung konsepto at saka yung mga nagsiserve na foundation para po sa ating discussion for today's po. So siguro po no, parati nating naririnig yung tripartism, yung social dialogue. So ano po nga ba po yung social dialogue? So under po sa revised IRR po natin, it pertains po to all types of negotiation, consultation, tsaka yung exchange of information between and among representatives of government, employers and workers on issues of common interest relating to economic and social policy. Hindi po ito limited sa formal talks lang po, no? Kasama rin po ang mga informal arrangements or even spontaneous engagements po. Basta may layunin po tayong makipag-ugnayan at makahanap po ng common ground. As you can see po, no, meron po tayong naka-red po na text po doon sa definition po natin. Ito po yung mga tatlong elements ng social dialogue or the usual activities po when we engage or conduct a session dialogue po. So first po, no, yung exchange of information. Ito po yung pinaka-basic or indispensable at pinakamadalas na nangyayari. Halimbawa po, no, kapag may bagong labor issuance po tayo or update, si Dole po ay pwede pong mag-call ng information or information sharing sessions po. Dito, nililinaw po na ang nilalaman po ng mga panibagong polisiya at pinapakinggan po natin ang mga paunang reaction po ng ating mga sectors. Ang pangalawa pong elements po nito is yung consultation po. Kapag po gumagawa po tayo ng bagong polisiya o may mga ina-amend po tayong department order, kinukonsulta po muna natin yung mga concerned stakeholders po natin. Pwede po itong through public consultations or yung roundtable discussions or pwede din po yung tripartite consultations po. At yung pangatlo po natin, yung negotiation. Ito po yung pinaka-binding po sa tatlo dahil dito po ay nagkakaroon po tayo ng agreement. Meron po tayong nabubong agreement. Gaya po yan ng collective bargaining agreements or CBAs na usually po nangyayari yan po sa enterprise level. Ibig pong sabihin, no, negotiation means na the parties are making mutual concessions po to reach a formal tsaka enforceable agreement po. Minsan po ito nakapokus po sa wages, benefits, or minsan po yung working conditions po natin. So ibig pong sabihin, no, yung social dialogue po is more than just a meeting or discussion. Ito ay proseso po siya. May ang pagpapalitan po natin ng mga information, yung pag-consult po natin, at saka yung pagkipag-ayos po ng at saka yung layunin po natin na magkaroon po ng consensus at saka industrial peace at saka yung inclusive policy making. At sa Pilipinas po, no, institutionalized na po ito at hindi lamang po bilang prinsipyo, kundi bilang bahagi na po ito talaga ng ating governance framework po. Sa next naman po, no, yung sa tripartism natin. Ibig pong sabihin, yung tripartism po is a institutionalized form of social dialogue involving po the government, employers organizations, at saka yung workers organization po natin through our negotiation, consultation, saka yung exchange of information on economic at saka social issues po in common interest. So tripartism po is acts as an institutional structure or arrangement na nag-enable po tayo sa mga different stakeholders po natin, no. Mapapansin po natin nakapula naman po yung sa text po, no, may tatlo doon. Kaya po siya tinatawag na tripartism kasi meron po tayong tatlong actors. Ito po yung government, yung employers, at saka yung workers para po magsama-sama po silang lahat, no. Ito po ay formal po na pagsasama para at least po through this po magkakaroon po tayo ng interaction at saka work on related issues po. It is an established system po. Sistema po siya na nade-design para sa specific purpose nito na i-promote po, no, ng collaborative dialogue at saka decision making. Yung activities po na negotiation, yung consultation, saka yung information of exchange po, no, ay dynamic po siya at saka ongoing. Ibig pong sabihin, itong mga activities na ito po ay nagre-representa po siya ng process. Kasi po dito, nai-involve po tayo ng series po of actions or steps na dapat po natin tinitake in order po para maka-achieve po tayo ng particular end po. Sa madaling salita po, no, ang tripartism ay paraan upang masiguro po na ang mga paggawa po natin ng mga pulisiya at pagtugon sa labor and employment concerns ay bunga po ito ng dialogo at partisipasyon po ng mga lahat po ng ating mga pangunahing sector. So bakit nga ba po mahalaga yung tripartism? Ano po ba yung naidudulot po nito sa ating labor relations? So sige po, ano. So dahil sa pamagitan po ng tripartism, nagkakaroon po tayo ng pagkakataon yung mga iba't ibang sektor po nating marinig, no, at baka maisalang-alang yung kanilang pananaw sa pagbuo po ng ating mga pulisiya at saka programa po. So una-una po, no, It helps po to ensure the stakeholder concerns and inputs are considered in public policy making. So ibig pong sabihin po no, yung tripartism natin at saka social dialogue po, nagki-create ng space where sectors can contribute to the development of labors, policies, and programs po. This results po sa policies na more realistic po siya, implementable, at saka widely supported because po nga po nagre-reflect po siya yung mga needs po natin and realities na nangyayari po on the ground po. So next din po is yung consensus building po, no? It aims and promotes po ito ng consensus building at saka democratic involvement. This is important kasi yung decision po na made through this dialogue and mutual understanding po tend to be more sustainable. It encourages po yung respect and among spatial partners and strengthens po yung democratic processes in governance saka yung industrial relations po natin. At yung pangatlo naman po, no, yung itong magpo-provide po siya ng effective labor governance. Ibig pong sabihin, instead po na conflicts po, escalating po to strikes po or lockouts, or minsan yung prolonged legal battles po natin, yung tripartism po at saka social dialogue, nag-over po siya, nag-offer no, ng preventive approach. So through open channels po at saka communication, yung issues po natin, pwede po natin siyang i-address before po siya maging full-blown po na disputes po. Ito po ay nagkakaroon po tayo na marereduce po natin yung tension po ng bawat sectors po, no, kung meron po mang tension between the labor at saka yung management po, para ma-build po natin a culture for problem solving po natin. So as you can see po, yung tatlo po yan po, nag-lead po yan sa isang key outcome po. Ito po yung effective at saka sound labor market governance. Ibig sabihin po, no, kapag yung tripartism po natin at yung social dialogue po is functioning well, it supports po the formulation at saka implementation po ng labor at saka employment policies natin that are inclusive, balance at saka beneficial po sa lahat po ng sector. It helps din po no na no voice is left po unheard and that decisions are fair and just po no. So next po naman po i-discuss po natin yung legal basis po natin no. Yung tripartism po kasi ay matibay po siya. Meron po tayong legal na pundasyon. Unang-una po dito yung ating constitution po no, yung Article 13, yung Section 3 of the Philippine Constitution po or yung social justice and human rights po natin. Nagpro-provide po ito na yung state po no shall guarantee the rights of all workers. Dito po natin makikita yung workers' right to self-organization, yung collective bargaining po natin at saka negotiations, yung mga security of tenure, yung humane working conditions po natin, at saka minsan kasama din po yung living wage no. Relative po sa social dialogue, sinasabi po ng constitution po natin na dapat workers shall participate sa mga policy at saka decision-making process po natin na nakaapekto po sa kanilang rights at saka benefits. Second legal basis po natin yung ILO Convention number 144 po. No? Ito po yung international framework na nagsaset no, na sinet po siya ng International Labor Organization na nagre-require ng members ng countries to establish procedures tsaka effective consultations among government, employers, at saka yung workers natin on matters po no, related to the activities po ng ILO. Ito po ay nag-establish po ng international legal basis po natin para po ma-practice po natin yung tripartism. Noong June po, no, June 1991, the Philippines po ratified yung ILOC 144 or ito po yung convention po on tripartite consultations to promote po the implementation of international labor standards. At bilang signatory po dito sa international convention na ito, yung Pilipinas po ay dapat po mag-adapt po ng measures para i-implement po itong provision po na ito. Kaya po no, nagkaroon po tayo ng pangatlong legal basis. Yan po yung Republic Act number 10395 po na in-implemented po tayong DOLE Department Order number 256 series of 2006 po. This act especially po declares tripartism in labor relations as a state policy no. In-emphasize po niya dito na both po yung workers po natin at saka yung employers po natin as far as possible po dapat represented po sila yung government policy making bodies. So ibig po sabihin no kapag meron po tayong ginagawang bagong polisiya po dapat po included po ang mga workers po natin at employers po sa ating discussion po. ito po ay sinosolidify po yung role po ng tripartism sa national legal framework, tsaka it promotes po the involvement po ng workers at tsaka employers sa ating decision making process. So this legal basis po nagde-demonstrate po siya na yung tripartism po natin is rooted po siya ng both Philippine law at saka international obligations po natin. Stressing po na importante na in-ensure po natin na yung labor policies po natin are created in consultation with our relevant stakeholders po natin. So next po tignan naman po natin kung paano na isa sa katuparan o na-operationalize po yung prinsipyong pong ito sa ilalim po ng ating domestic legal framework. So, ang Republic Act number 10395 o yung Tripartism Law in Labor Relations Act po na-declare po bilang isang state policy upang may sa katuparan po ang mga layunin ng batas at magbigay po ng mas malinaw na operational guidelines. Inilabas po natin yung Department Order number 256 series of 2026 bilang revised implementing rules po at saka regulations ng nasabing batas po. Ito po ay na-sign po at saka na-issue noong March 31 at saka na-publish po siya noong April 19 po sa Philippine Star. So following po the publication po in accordance po doon sa ating usual rule po ng effectivity ng administrative issuances po natin, naging effective po yung department order po natin noong May 4, 2026 po. So ito naman po ano po ba yung mga layunin or pangunahing layunin po nitong department order number 256? So at this point po, baka pwede po nating itanong bakit po kailangan nating maglabas ng panibagong department order, ganun po Kasi nga po, sa paglipas po ng panahon, nagkakaroon po tayo ng operational concerns at iba't ibang practices po sa pagpapatupad ng mga tripartite mechanism sa iba't ibang antas po. Kaya naman po nagdabas po tayo ng DO 256. Ito po ay nilabas upang magbigay po ng mas malinaw, mas updated at mas uniform po na guidelines sa pagpapatupad po ng tripartism law po natin. Sa pangkalahatan po ang revised IRR po ay nakatuon po sa apat na pangunahing layunin po. Ayan po, as flash po dito sa ating presentation meron po tayong apat na objectives po. So, unang-una po dyan po, para magkaroon po tayo ng higit pang mapalakas yung mga tripartite mechanism bilang venues po para sa consultation, yung sa dialogue po natin, at pakikipaglahok po ng gobyerno, manggagawa at saka yung employer po sa mga usaping may kinalaman sa paggawa at employee po. Ay, sorry, na-move ko po. Ayan po. Ayan. So, ulitin ko po, may apat po tayong objectives, yung sa 256. Pangalawa po dyan po, yung matiyak po natin na yung representasyon po ng mga sektor ay tunay at makabuluhan po, alinsunod po dito sa konsepto ng most representative organizations, alinsunod sa prinsipyo po ng ating tripartism. At saka yung pangatlo po, yung magbigay po ng mas malinaw na working procedures kaugnay ng nominations, yung pagkandak po natin ng meetings, yung sa mga resolutions po natin, at saka po yung iba pong operational matters upang maging mas effective yung paggana po ng ating mga councils po. At yung pang-apat po natin, yung upang malinaw na may paliwanag yung mga struktura or structures, yung composition at saka yung mga tungkulin ng iba't ibang tripartite bodies upang magkaroon po ng mas consistent po ng implementation po natin ng DO 256. Sa madaling salita, ang DO 256 ay hindi lamang tungkol sa pagbabago ng ating mga proseso. Ito ay tungkol sa pagpapalakas po ng ating tripartite consultation at pagtiyak po na ang mga mekanismo natin ay nakikilahok po yung mga manggagawa po natin, tsaka yung mga employer po natin at nanatiling relevant po siya, represented at saka responsive po sa kasalukuyang pangangailangan po natin. So bago po mag-proceed mas unawain po natin yung kung ano po tong state policy na nagsisilbing pundasyon po ng ating provision. So under po dito sa revised IRR po natin, ina-emphasize po ng state that tripartism should be an institutionalized po as a continuing policy sa labor management relations po. In simple terms po, no, ang objective po ng tripartism law is to strengthen yung participation at saka engagement ng government, saka yung workers, at saka po yung employers natin para po sa labor at saka employment discussions po natin, yung consultations, at saka yung decision making processes po natin. Ang objective po talaga nito sa is magkaroon po tayo ng continuing mechanism kung saan pwede tayong mag-usap, mag-consult at saka mag-coordinate po yung mga tatlong sectors po natin, yung tungkol po ito sa labor employment concern. Pwede natin i-discuss yung ating ang tawag dito, yung mga freedom of associations, yung collective bargaining, kasama din po natin dito yung industrial peace po. Minsan po pwede din pag-discussan po yung productivity, at saka even po yung broader socio-economic concerns po na naka-apekto po talaga sa ating mga workers po at saka employers po. For example po, no, kung may bago po tayong policy, emerging industry concerns, kagaya po ng wage issue, or implementation po ng concerns sa mga regions, DLF po, hindi lang po siya purely top-down discussion. Dapat po, no, meron po tayong venue para po sa mga labor at saka employers natin para po i-raise po, no, yung concerns po nila. Tapos mag-provide din po sila ng mga inputs po nila, saka nakikipag-participate po sila sa ating mga discussion po. At iyon po yung pinaka talagang role po, no, ng ating tripartite mechanism. So to give effect po to this state policy, no, yung revised IRR po natin, recognize po natin yung various tripartite mechanism po dito po sa national, sa regional po at saka yung sa industrial levels po natin. So next proceed po, no. Kanina po nakita natin na yung state policy po na pinapairal po dito sa IRR po natin. Ang tanong po ay paano po naman po natin ipapatupad or paano yung actual po na operation ng ating tripartite mechanism. So under po dito sa Department Order 256 po, no, nagbibigay po siya ng malinaw na gabay tungkol po doon sa mga creation po, yung sa composition, yung functions, paano po yung nomination, paano po yung working arrangements, at saka paano po din po yung operational aspects po ng ating mga tripartite councils. So, una po natin i-discuss po dito yung National Tripartite Industrial Peace Council po natin. Ayan, yun sa pinakamataas po natin. Ito po yung nagsiserve po na primary tripartite mechanism sa national level po natin. Ito po ay sinusuporta, meron po siyang iba't ibang committees po. Ito po yung TEC po natin. Andyan din po yung committee po sa labor at saka employment plan. Andin po yung sa trade matters po natin at saka yung sa freedom of association at saka case monitoring committee po natin. Ayan po. So, next po, no, ayun, no, i-clear ko lang din po yung mga members po dito sa existing, yung standing committees po natin ay sila din po yung mga nasa NTFC po natin, sila yung nakaupo po doon. So, nagkaroon lang po tayo ng parang subcommittees po under po ng NTFC na divide po sila, yun po yung apat po nating committees. So next po, meron din po tayong National Tripartite Industry Tripartite Council po or yung National ITCs po. Ang concern naman po nito ay nakafocus po siya sa particular po, no, na industries. Next po, no, yung sa regional level naman po natin, nandyan po yung Regional Tripartite Industrial Peace Council po natin or yung RTPCs po natin. Sila naman po yung nagsisilbing pangunahing venue para sa tripartite consultation sa mga region. Kung dito po sa national po, ang pinaka-main po is si National Tripartite Industrial Peace Council o yung NTPC. Sa region naman po ay yung si Regional Tripartite Industrial Peace Council po. Kaugnay po nito, no, maaari rin mo magkaroon po tayo ng local TIPCs po, regional or provincial ITCs at saka yung regional tripartite monitoring bodies po. Mahalaga po nating tandaan ang mga mekanismong ito po ay hindi magkakahiwalay na sistema, bagkus ito po ay bahagi po sila ng isang malawak na framework na naglalayong isulong po yung social dialogue at saka tripartism sa iba't ibang antas po. No? Ngayon naman po, tignan natin yung mas malapitan yung ilan po sa mga pangunahing tripartite mechanism natin. So, ayun no, bagamat magkakaiba yung saklaw po ng ating NTIPC, yung RTIPCs po natin at yung ITCs po, pare-pareho po sila nakabatay po sa prinsipyo po ng tripartism. Ito po yung pagkakaroon po ng representasyon mula po sa gobyerno, yung sa manggagawa po natin at saka sa employer po, no? Under po dito sa IRR po natin, yung NTIPC natin na nagsiserve, no, as mentioned kanina, na pinaka-main consultative and advisory tripartite body sa national level. So, ibig sabihin po, no, in terms po in simple term po, no, ito yung pinaka highest tripartite mechanism kung saan regular na nagkakaroon po ng konsultasyon at saka coordination po among government, labor at saka employer sectors sa labor and employment concern po. Dito po, no, nakikita po natin yung composition. Meron po 20 labor representatives at saka 20 employer representatives po. No, yung labor po at saka employer po representative po natin, dapat po no manggagaling po sila sa most representative organization. So itong NTIPC po no, chine-chair po siya ng secretary po ng Labor of Employment, and yung undersecretary po natin pwede po siyang ma-serve tawag dito, mag-serve po siya as ating alternate chairperson po, no, in absence po nung si secretary po, no. Sa appointment naman po, no, ng sectoral representative po natin, ang nag-appoint po sa kanila ay si president po, no. Tapos yung term of office po nila po ay generally po, no, 3 years po unless earlier or i-recall po siya o i-replace po siya ng nominating organization natin. So operationally po, yung NTIPC po natin, nagsaserve po siya as the primary national venue for tripartite consultation, especially po sa major labor, employment, saka yung economic and social concerns po natin nakaka-apekto po sa workers at saka employers natin nationwide po. So next naman po, sa regional level naman po, yung primary tripartite po sa region, yung RTIPC po natin, na dito po, usually dinadala at saka dinidiscuss yung regional labor at saka employment concerns natin, yung industry issues, implementation concerns, at saka other matters po na nag-a-affect po sa workers at saka employments po within the region naman po siya. No? Kung sa NTIPC po kanina, meron po tayong 2020 no, na representative. Dito naman po sa RTIPC po natin, not more than 15 labor representative po at saka not more than 15 employer po. Ngayon po ulit, lahat po ng representative po natin dapat po ay manggaling siya sa most representative organizations. So si RTIPC, ang nag-chair po dito ay si Regional Director po. Tapos pwede pong i-assign si ARD, yung Assistant Regional Director po natin, as alternate chairperson naman po. Kung kanina po sa NTIPC po, yung nag-a-appoint po sa kanila ay si President, dito naman po sa RTIPC po ay yung Secretary po ng Labor and Employment. Yung term po din nila ay 3 years po unless earlier recalled or replaced po ng nominating organization po natin. So si RTIPC, no, nagsaserve po siya sa regional counterpart po ito ng NTIPC. Kung sa NTIPC po natin, nag-handle po tayo ng national level concerns. Dito naman po sa regional, no, ang focus naman po nila is yung sa regional labor, employment, at saka industry concerns po na naka-affect po sa locality. For example po, no, kapag yung concerns po natin relating po sa emerging industries po natin, yung industry at risk concerns, mga labor market issues, or regional implementation concerns po, pwede po nating can be elevated po dito at ma-discuss po dito sa ating RTIPC. So next proceed naman po sa pangatlo po, no, ito yung ITC po natin. Ito naman po, no, mas focus po siya mas industry focus po to. Kung kanina po, no, yung RTIPC, ang cover po niya, no, broader regional concerns across industries. Dito naman po sa ITC, no, concentrated naman po siya sa isang particular po na industry or sector. Example po dito yung ating tourism or doon po sa construction or BPO po natin, doon sa transport, ayun. Tapos agriculture, power sector, tsaka others pa po, yung similar industries po natin. No? Operationally po, useful po ito kapag yung concern po ay very industry specific. No? Halimbawa po dito, yung concern po nila yung manpower sa construction. No? Or minsan po yung mga platform worker issues po natin or yung push concerns po natin sa power sector or yung sa workforce transition po na issues po sa BPO or minsan po yung seasonal employment concerns po sa ating tourism. So instead po na generic regional discussion lang siya, nagkakaroon po ng focus and technical industry level yung tripartite consultation po natin. No? So yung ITC po natin, ang composition po nito ay dapat po no, not more than 10 po siya. Yung labor at saka employer po natin, 10 po sa labor natin, 10 din po sa employer. So ulitin din po ulit natin. So lahat po no ng representative po dapat po ay manggaling po siya sa most representative organization po no within the industry po. So kung sa national po, yung nag-a-appoint sa kanila ay si president, sa RTIPC, si secretary, dito naman po sa ITC no, regional director po ang nag-a-appoint. No? Sige po, yung term po nito, 3 years din po, unless din po i-earlier recall po siya or i-replace po siya. So while this mechanism no, differ po sila in terms of their level of operation, each of them also no, meron po silang specific roles at saka functions designed to address po dun sa particular labor at saka employment concerns po. So dahil magkakaiba no yung antas kung saan sila kumukilos, may mga tungkulin ding natatangi sa bawat mekanismo. For example po no, as you can see no, dito sa NTIPC natin, they plays po as an important role in providing recommendations po kay secretary and in monitoring po the implementation po ng international labor standards at saka yung other related labor related concerns po natin na that have national significance po. On the other hand po, no, yung sa RTC natin, nag-help po to identify at address po yung labor employment concerns po sa regional level. They also serve as an important communication channel yung between po ng national at saka yung regional levels po natin. No? Ito po nag-help po para i-ensure natin na yung local issues po natin at saka perspective po no, are considered po sa ating mga policy discussions po. Meanwhile naman po, dito sa ITC po natin, no, nakafocus po siya dun sa concerns that are unique po to their respective industries. No? They may assist po in developing yung industry-specific interventions at saka recommendations po to address po yung emerging issues po and challenges within their sectors po. So while this mechanism po, no, they have distinct roles and functions, they also share po ng common purpose, no, yung mag-serve po as venue for dialogue, yung consultation, and saka yung collective search for solutions po sa ating mga labor at saka employment concerns po. So next, proceed po, no? Ayan, no? Ayun. Ayun, kanina ka na-mention po, no, yung mechanism po natin na meron po silang sarili-sariling functions, meron din po sila ng parang parehas yung common responsibilities in promoting po yung social dialogue po, tsaka addressing yung labor tsaka employment concern po. No? Maaari silang mag-review ng mga labor tsaka employment policies upang matukoy no, kung kailangan po natin siyang palitan, baguhin, or ipapagpabuti natin, no? I-revise po natin. Maaari din po silang magbigay po ng mga payo or recommendations kaugnay po dun po sa mga usaping may kinalaman po no, sa labor at saka employment. Mahalaga rin po yung kanilang mga papel sa mga pagbuo po natin ng tripartite recommendations bilang resulta ng kanilang mga consultations at saka deliberation po. Maaari rin po silang tumulong no, sa pagtugon po ng mga labor concerns po natin at saka industrial disputes sa pamamagitan po no, ng pagpapalakas po yung dialogue at saka cooperation sa pagitan po ng ating mga sectors. Ayan, nakikilahok din po no, sa iba't ibang tripartite conferences at saka consultations at maaaring magpatibay po sa mga programa at saka operational rules po na kinakailangan po natin i-epektibong may sakatuparan po no, sa ang ating mga tungkulin. So, madaling salita, ang tripartite mechanism po ay hindi po lamang siya konsehong umiiral sa papel. Sila po ay aktibong plataforma para sa pakikilahok no, ng konsultasyon, pagtutulungan ng gobyerno at saka yung manggagawa at saka yung mga employer. So, isa sa pinakamahalagang tanong po no, sa pagpapatupad po nitong tripartism, kung sino ang maaaring kumatawan sa mga bawat sektor po natin. Kaya dito po pumapasok yung konsepto po natin ng most representative organizations na inuulit-ulit ko po kanina no, doon sa lahat po ng representatives po natin na dapat po ay manggaling po sila sa most representative organizations po. So let's proceed po, no? Ayan, so yung most representative organization po, based po dito sa roles po natin, no? Na dapat yung mga sectoral representative ay dapat magmula sa most representative organizations. So sa pagtukoy po kung alin ang may tuturing na most representative organization, dapat alamin po natin yung mga pamantayan na kagaya po dito yung pagkakaroon po nila ng substantial at saka verifiable membership base po, no? Tapos dapat duly registered po sila. Tapos meron po silang kakayahan na katawanin yung interes po ng kanilang sektor o lokalidad po. Layunin po nitong matiyak na yung mga boses po no na naririnig ng mga tripartite mechanism ay tunay na sumasalamin po doon sa mga pangangailangan at saka pananaw ng mga sektor na kanilang pong nire-represent. Ayun po. So ang question po natin no, paano kaya kung wala pong most representative organization po, for example po sa isang region. So paano po, ano po yung magiging next step po natin dito. So if wala po tayong representative, no, ayan. If no most representative organization no na nag-exist po, yung roles po natin, pwede tayong mag-provide po ng alternative selection mechanism through po doon sa labor management councils po natin or establishments within the highest number of employees po no. So ayan, mas clear po no, nakikita po natin dito sa flowchart po natin no. So kanina no, dapat po no, lahat po ng representative po natin dapat manggaling siya sa most representative organization. Ngayon po, kung wala po siyang most representative organization, pwede po natin siyang i-check no dito sa kung meron po silang existing na LMCs. Ngayon po, kung meron po silang existing LMCs po, doon po tayo pwedeng mag-nominate po, mamili po doon kung sino po yung magre-represent po ng kanilang sector. So kung wala naman pong LMC doon, i-check po natin no, yung sa establishment po na may mas malaking number po ng ating employees po no. Malinaw po tayo doon no. Kung wala po tayong most representative, i-check po natin kung meron po silang existing LMCs. Ngayon, kung meron po silang LMCs po, doon tayo kumuha. Ngayon po, kung wala po silang LMCs, check po natin yung mga establishment po natin na may mas marami pong employees po no na employ po doon sa establishment. So, yun po no. So next po no, i-discuss ko po yung process kung paano po yung selecting ng representative natin at kung paano po yung participation nila sa tripartite mechanism po. Ayan po no, sa lahat po nung pagkakataon na kailangan po natin ng sectoral representation, si Dole po ay naglalabas po siya ng call for nomination. So after po nung call for nominations po no, magsasubmit naman po ngayon yung sectors po natin ng nomination. Yung nomination po na sinasubmit po nila dapat po ay in writings. Tapos po, i-check din po natin na dapat po yung nominado nga, no, as mentioned kanila, na dapat po nagmumula sila sa most representative organizations at meron po silang kahandaan at kakayahan at availability upang gampanan po yung kanilang tungkulin bilang kinatawan po ng kanilang sektor. Ang prosesong ito po ay mahalaga upang matiyak po natin yung transparency, no, yung accountability at saka yung pagiging lehitimo ng mga kinatawan sa iba't ibang tripartite mechanism. Sa pamamagitan po nito, ang malinaw po yung process po ng nomination po natin at pagpili, mas napapatibay po natin yung kredibilidad po ng tripartism system. So as we conclude po no, our discussion, it is important to remember no, na yung tripartism is not merely about establishing po ng councils or institutional mechanisms. More importantly po, no, it is about creating spaces where a government, yung workers po natin, yung employers po natin are actively no nakaka-participate po sa matters po na naka-affect po sa kanila. Through dito po no sa social dialogue tsaka tripartite mechanism po natin na nire-recognize po under ng DO 256, we are provided po na with opportunities po no na mag-collaborate po tayo, mag-exchange po tayo ng perspectives at saka mag-collectively develop po no ng solutions to the challenges po na fini-face po ng world po ngayon no. So may today's discussions po no magsa-serve po na reminder po sa ating lahat na yung industrial peace po natin, yung productivity, yung inclusive labor governance po natin ay shared responsibility po siya. Ibig pong sabihin po no, this can only be achieved kapag po meaningful po yung dialogue, mutual respect at saka yung sustain po yung cooperation po among stakeholders po natin. So ayun po sir no, that ends my presentation po. Maraming salamat po no, and I hope this session nakatulong po no para ma-deepen po yung understanding po natin kung ano po yung tripartism at saka yung social dialogue po natin no. Hindi lang po siya theory pero bilang isang working practice po, pero isa po siyang working practice na po natin in governments and labor relations po no. Ayun po, thank you so much po and magandang araw po sa ating lahat.
Yan, maraming salamat Sir Braille for that very informative and insightful discussion on Department Order number 256 series of 2026 strengthening tripartism through enhanced collaboration among government, workers and employers in labor policy and industrial relations. Sigurado po ako sir, marami tayong natutunan mula sa ating talakayan ngayong hapon at naniniwala rin kung marami na rin katanungan ng ating mga viewers. Bago po tayo dumako sa ating questions and answer portion, magkakaroon po muna tayo ng 2-minute break. And while naka-break po tayo, pwede nyo pong i-comment ang inyong questions or clarifications para ma-address po ng ating speaker later. We'll resume po in 2 minutes. Pwede siguro tayong mag-CR break or minom ng tubig. Okay, dumako na po tayo sa ating questions and answer portion. Okay po. Our first question is kailangan kailangan po ba na organize para masabing may social dialogue? Sir.
Hello po, good afternoon. Ayan, naka-open na pala ako. Sorry, sir. Ayan, yung question po is, kailangan po ba na organize para masabing may social dialogue? Hindi naman po kinakailangan na organize po, no, o formal na organisasyon ang mga kalahok po dito para masabing may social dialogue. Gaya po nga yung sinabi ko po kanina, yung definition po natin ng social dialogue po, ito ay proseso ng negotiation, consultation, or exchange of information sa pagitan po ng pamahalaan o yung government po natin, yung workers po natin, at saka yung employer natin tungkol po sa mga usaping may kinalaman po sa labor at employment po natin. Gayunpaman po, no, para sa mga formal tripartite mechanism, gaya po nung NTIPC, no, yung RTIPC at saka yung ITCs natin, mahalaga ang representasyon mula sa mga kinikilalang organisasyon upang matiyak na ang mga kalahok ay may sapat na mandato o kakayahang katawanin ang kanilang sektor. Sa madaling salita po, sir, no, maaring magkaroon po ng social dialogue kahit hindi po formal na organisado ang mga kalahok natin. Ngunit po, no, para sa mga institutionalized po na tripartite bodies po natin, itinatag sa ilalim ng batas po ng DO 256, ang representasyon ay karaniwang nagmumula po sa kinatawan po ng mga organization ng manggagawa at saka employer po.
For our second question po, sir. Anong kahalagahan na may consultation sa workers, employers at government?
Ayan po, no. Maganda po yung katanungan po kung sino po yung nag-submit po ng question po nito, no. Ano nga po ba yung kahalagahan ng consultations po sa workers, tsaka employers, tsaka government? Mahalaga po itong consultation para marinig po, no. Kasi sabi ko nga kanina, ito po yung venue or space po para po makinig po yung boses po. Marinig po, I mean, yung boses po ng lahat ng apektadong sektor po. Kapag po kasi sama-samang nag-uusap yung mga workers, employers po, at saka yung government natin, mas nagiging balanse, no, makatarungan at saka effective po yung decision at saka policies po natin.
Okay po, thank you, sir. For our third questions po, pwede po kaya ma-explain in a nutshell kung paano po yung process ng tripartism sa pagbuo ng policies?
Ayun po, no. In a nutshell. In a nutshell po, no, yung tripartism ay isang proseso kung saan sama-samang kinukonsult po yung government po natin, yung workers at saka yung mga employers natin bago o habang bumubuo po tayo ng polisiya at programa na may epekto po sa labor employment. So ibig pong sabihin po, no, example po, no, kapag may isang concerns o issue na kailangan po nating pag-usapan, dinadala po ito sa isang tripartite mechanism gaya po ng NTIPC po natin sa national, yung RTIPC po natin sa regional, tsaka yung ITC po natin sa yung industry specific po. Kung saan nagkakaroon ng consultation tsaka deliberation po yung tatlong sektor. Dito po, no, bawat sektor po ay nagbibigay po ng kanilang views or opinions, yung mga concerns po nila, yung recommendations. Tapos kapag po, no, pag may mga nakakasunduan po dito, maaari po itong maging batayan. Ito yung magiging basis po natin para po makagawa po ng rekomendasyon po, no, yung programa tsaka polisya po ng government po. Yun po, sir.
Okay po. For our next question po, number 4, sino ang dapat na kinatawan ng employee at sa sinasabi nating tripartism?
Ayun po, no, sir. Yun yung minention ko kanina, yung lahat po ng representative po natin from the employee tsaka from the employers po, dapat po ay manggaling po yun sa mga most representative organization from the industry po or region or yung locality po nila. So nagno-nominate po yung mga labor po natin tsaka yung employer organizations po natin na galing po sa kanilang representative ang ating mga tripartite mechanisms po.
Next question po, sir. What is the biggest challenge facing tripartism today and how can workers help strengthen it?
Ayun. What is the biggest challenge facing tripartism today and how can workers help strengthen it? Grabe. Pang Miss Universe po yung tanong, sir. Pero ayun po, no. One of the biggest po, no, na challenges po facing tripartism today is yung ensuring po, no, yung meaningful participation po from all sectors. Minsan po, no, may mekanismo para po sa consultation, pero hindi po lahat ng stakeholders ay aktibong nakikilahok o may nakakapagbigay po ng kanilang mga inputs. May mga pagkakataon din po na magkakaiba po yung priorities po nila at your ang tawag dito or interest po ng mga workers, employers sa government. Kaya minsan nagiging hamon po kung paano po yung pagbuo ng consensus. Yung workers po can help po no strengthen this tripartism by actively no participating in consultations po natin. Kaya po dun sa dialogues po, yung tripartite bodies through their organizations, mahalaga rin po no na magbahagi sila ng tunay na concerns, yung recommendations din po nila mula sa kanilang sector upang maging mas informed at saka responsive po yung mga polisiya at saka programa po natin. In short po, ibig sabihin, yung tripartism po natin magiging stronger when workers are organized, informed, engaged, and willing to participate po constructively in dialogue po at saka yung sa consultation po natin, sir. Thank you so much po, sir.
Thank you po, Sir Brian. And the next question po natin, sir, is ano ang legal na pananagutan ng isang panig kung hindi sila susunod sa mga kasunduang nagpasyahan ng isang tripartite forum?
Depende po yan, sir, sa uri po ng kasunduan o napapasyahan sa tripartite forum. Sa pangkalahatan po kasi, ang mga tripartite council po natin ay may mga consultative at saka advisory mechanism po natin. Marami sa kanilang outputs ay sa anyo po siya ng recommendations, Pwede din yan resolutions or position papers. Minsan din po, policy recommendation siya. So sa mga ganitong sitwasyon po, wala pong automatic legal liability, o penalty na ipinapataw po ng DO number 256 kapag hindi po nasunod ang isang rekomendasyon o resolution po.
Okay po. Okay. That was our last questions po pala. And that concludes po, sir, and our question and answer portion. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng nagpadala ng kanilang questions at aktibong nakiisa sa ating webinar ngayong araw. Thank you very much, Sir Brian, for generously sharing your expertise and valuable insight with us today. Bago po tayo magtapos, may final message po ba kayo, Sir Brian, para sa ating viewers?
Ayun, actually, na-mention ko naman na kanina doon sa concluding sa discussion po natin kanina, pero ulitin ko pa rin po, let us remember na yung tripartism is not merely about establishing po ng councils po natin, mechanisms or structures. More importantly, it is about creating meaningful spaces for dialogue at saka participation. Kung saan po, yung government po natin, yung workers at saka yung employers po, can come together para mag-discuss ng issues that affect po, yung mga work saka collective toward po sa shared solutions, through social dialogue tsaka tripartite po, we are provided with valuable opportunities to exchange perspectives, magbibuild po tayo ng mutual understanding, tsaka ina-address po natin yung labor at tsaka employment challenges natin through yung cooperation po at tsaka consensus. So ito po, magsaserve po ulit, i-remind ko na naman po ulit na sana yung industrial peace po natin, enhanced productivity, yung inclusive labor governance natin, tsaka yung responsibility. Ito po ay hindi po siya responsibility po ng isang sector lamang. Kung anong tawag dito, hindi lang siya responsibility po ng isang sector. Bagkus ito po ay shared goals po, na nagre-require po ng active participation po from other sectors po, Ito yung participation, commitment, tsaka collaboration po government, tsaka workers, at tsaka employers po. Ayun lang po, and thank you so much po, and we look forward po sa continuous working partnership po natin para po sa advancement po ng decent work at tsaka meaningful social dialogue po for all. Maraming salamat po at mag-ingat po tayong lahat po.
Okay po, maraming salamat po, Sir Brian, for your valuable time and for sharing expertise with us this afternoon. Tunay pong napakalaking tulong sa ang inyong mga binihaging kaalaman para sa ating mga viewers at participants. Bago po tayo tuluyang magtapos, nais po namin ipagkaloob ang aming munting Certificate of Appreciation bilang pagkilala at pagpasasalamat sa inyong suporta at makabuluhang kontribusyon sa ating Webinar Wednesdays. Allow me to read po, sir. Okay. Certificate of Appreciation is awarded to Mr. Bradley Genesis B. Bankirig. Is a recognition and sincere appreciation of the valuable support and significant contributions rendered as resource speaker in the successful conduct of #Webinar Wednesdays Season 4. Episode 17, Fostering Dialogue DO number 256-26 and Tripartism in Labor Relations, held on June 17, 2026 via Facebook Live and on Bureau of Working Conditions official Facebook page. Given this 7th of June 2026 in the city of Manila, signed by Director Alvin B. Corrada. Muli, maraming salamat po, Sir Brian. We truly appreciate your participation and support at umasa po kami, sir, na makakasama namin kayo muli sa mga susunod pang learning sessions ng Bureau of Working Conditions. Thank you po, Sir Brian. Para naman po sa ating viewers, we heard you. Certificates of attendance are now available. Please scan the QR code flashed on your screen to access the evaluation form. Paalala lamang po na siguraduhin tama ang spelling ng iyong pangalan at email address upang maiwasan ang delay sa pagproseso ng inyong certificates. One evaluation lamang po per episode. And sa susunod na linggo naman po para sa ating episode 8, June 24, 2026, ang pag-uusapan naman natin ay Learning from Incidents, Building Stronger OSH Programs. Sana po ay makasama at makilahok kayo sa ating talakayan. Maraming salamat po. And for inquiries and concern, you may email us at bwc.dole.gov.ph or call the Dole Hotline 1349. Ngayong hapon, muli nating napatunayan na napakahalaga ng patuloy na pag-aaral at pagkikiisa upang mas mapalakas natin ang kaalaman ng mga manggagawa at employers tungkol sa labor standards at occupational safety and health. Again, please follow us on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Viber at Dole BWC 1949 for more updates and future webinar episodes. I-share na rin po ninyo ang webinar na ito sa inyong mga kaibigan, pamilya at kasamahan sa trabaho upang mas marami pa ang maging informed tungkol sa mga programa at serbisyo ng Department of Labor and Employment at Bureau of Working Conditions para sa kapakanan ng manggagawang Pilipino. At kung na-miss ninyo ang ating episodes, maaari po ninyong panoorin ang lahat ng Webinar Wednesdays episodes from Season 1 to 4 sa ating official YouTube channel. On behalf of the Bureau of Working Conditions, maraming salamat po sa inyong suporta at pagkikiisa. See you again next episode of #Webinar Wednesdays. Once again, this is Jimson Robles, your moderator, signing off. Magandang araw po sa ating lahat.
Para sa mga katanungan at karagdagang impormasyon, maaari po tayong tumawag sa Dole Hotline 1349 o sumuni sa mga Dole Regional Field Office na nakakasakop sa inyong lugar paggawa.